I think it's time to pull the Celica out of the corner once again and finish it up. So there's a few things that I want to just button up, odds and ends, little stuff. I want to put the hood on, hood latch. I also need to do the mirrors that I got from Pond Retro maybe 2 or 3 years ago at this point. There's a rear spoiler that we have to fit, which is not fun, but we got over the hump. I want to do a quick rundown of where we left off. So a lot has been done since our last video, which is good and sort of bad. I unfortunately didn't catch the first start. Also, filming has been kind of a push-pull for me, to be honest with you. Like whenever I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on the Celica today, I would start thinking about, okay, I gotta get my filming shit out and like try to figure out what to do and then edit. And it was just like, I was dreading working on it. My interest has shifted. I've been doing a lot of machine work. I've also been doing some 3-piece wheel builds. I got a big ass lathe here that was catastrophic and I had to fix it and go over everything. But yeah, so I've been like full blast working on other things rather than attending to open-ended projects, we'll call them. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you what's going on with this. We'll get those mirrors on, spoiler, and then I'm gonna push this thing out of here into the other garage and bring in our next project, because I believe that this thing is at a good point where we can figure out what to do with it. So stick around. All right, here we are, back on the bench, all right? So here's my mirrors. I haven't opened these in quite a while. Like I said, I got these from Pond Retro, and it must have been 2 years, maybe. He's been sitting. I always wanted some fender mounted mirrors, like ever since I started this project. So when I saw that he made them, I grabbed them pretty quick. Everything's new, these are mint. So, and I think they're pretty easy to install. I'll just have to kind of punch out a hole this size and then a little jammy here, but maybe I'll make a little template, but that's that. I guess we can leave this one wrapped up for now. And then my hood hinges, how could I forget? So, long story with these, which I'm gonna shorten up for sure. This is your prop rod. These things are mint. They got ball bearings in them. I ordered these, maybe the first or second thing I've ordered when I got this car. So, I found them online, on the groups, you know, they're rebuilt, they're awesome. I go, oh shit, like, I contacted the guy, I paid for them. I don't remember how much they were, but they took forever to get. The person I bought them from is Nate Gold. So remember that name. Whenever you want to order anything from that guy, don't. Because, and I'm sure everyone in the Celica community knows this guy, but he would not answer my messages, avoiding me. It was ridiculous. I had to pretty much track him down, which I don't like doing that. But anyway, I got them finally from him, and they had 19 million pounds of dust on it because they were probably sitting, and he should have just told me he didn't have any, because apparently he found some sitting in his warehouse and he gave them to me. So I don't know how old these are. It doesn't matter. They work. Everything's mint on them, which I'm happy, but I'm not happy to wait 8 months for these things without any response. So anyway, they're here. That's my long, short story, and I'm gonna forget about where these came from. So essentially, these you'll never find again. And if you do, let them go. All right, here we go. First things first, what we're after is this little seal here, I would imagine, because I'm going to take this and place it on the car, and then we can get a pattern from that. So let's take this guy apart. Let's go see where this guy goes. All right, so after countless searching on the internet, I've come to the conclusion that this is the one we're after. So for our location. So there's usually a rubber piece here. So when you shut the hood, it like kind of sits on that. So that's the one you're looking for. If not, it's the second one up. It's pretty much easy. And the place they go is the tip of it would be at the end, at the other end of the bolt. And I've seen some also, which I'm going to throw some pictures up here for you guys, that are further back, that are further forward, but I think I'm going to kind of stick with kind of right around there. A couple pieces of tape here will be good. I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want it. I'm not going to get too anal. I was going to like measure and then find the center and measure from here and get all wild. But I think when you open these holes up, you'll be able to like kind of wiggle it around if you need to move it a little bit. I think the holes are pretty forgiving. That's it. Let's go drill a hole in our car. If you have any like sharper drill bits, those are probably better for your paint, you know. But I'm gonna start with a little small guy. Actually, we should probably see what's underneath this, right? Before we're doing that. Okay. No wires, we're good. So I drilled these like kind of right to size. So I might go bigger with them. Is that way you can like pivot, screw around. The plate covers quite a bit, so if I wanted to drill my hole huge, I can then move this thing around wherever the hell I want. So whatever, I might just go one more step up on that one. Now we can kind of screw around if we need to. So here's everything from underneath here. I got a light. So I went ahead and put some Loctite on these just to be sure. I don't know how tight to make this one, but I feel like I can make this one a little tighter, because if you start wrenching on this one's like hard mounted, and this one's just on the spring, you know what I mean? So I cranked this one pretty good. This one was like kind of halfway. But anyway, they look kind of cool. I don't know, I dig them. The only thing is, I think that it's gonna be tough to avoid them, I guess, or remember that they're there when you're kind of like leaning over to work on shit. Like, it may be tough, but who cares? They look dope. So here's our hinges. There's a little piece on here that's like a spacer washer type thing. They just kind of folded it over. But anyway, there's also a little dip right here. So that's how you know kind of which way they go. This doesn't fit on this way. It doesn't fit on the other side. So it's gonna sit kind of like that. And there's adjustments, for them. There's some slotted holes. I don't know if this is like your grill mount / headlight piece here. I'm pretty sure that this sits above it or on top of it. So I'm gonna do that and see where it puts this light. I don't think it's gonna do too much, but there is another one down in there that also may need to be either shimmed, or I may just have this one in when I shouldn't, because the hinge should be on there. So I'm gonna take this off, and then I'll put this on and see kind of where this sits. Yeah, there's a space in there. So I think that this is just gonna slide in here. that. I would like to take these out someday, maybe before everything's done, and just kind of like paint this. It looks kind of shabby. I'm also not sure how much you're going to be able to see this stuff once the hood is, you know, here, but you might. And if you do, I guess then I'll paint it. But anyway, I'm going to finish bolting this all up, and then we'll go grab the hood and we'll put the hood on here, which I'm probably going to have to find bolts also. But the fenders I also left like loose, because obviously when you put everything on, the hood on, I'm going to have to adjust this, and these are going to have to be adjusted. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully everything is easy to put on. We just have to watch out about those mirrors again.
It's not on over here.
Is it going to hit anything?
No.
All right, here's a spoiler I went with. This is one from Top Secret, and it's a replica because they don't make them anymore. So I had my good friend Mitch paint them for me, and he did quite a bit of work on these actually. These things do not fit at all, like at all. Most people take them and they mold them in, and they end up painting the car or blending it in or whatever. So this is how this kind of works. This is what I'm left with when I buy it. There's nothing inside here. So I had to like kind of figure out what to do. I just kind of put some, I don't know what this is called, like fiberglass material, I guess, in here. And I drilled some holes in it. That way it has something to like kind of sit against when I put the screws in. This here is stuck in there to kind of open the gap here because when I got this thing, this is off and this is off. So you have to kind of manipulate it quite a bit. And when that happened, this became all wavy, so we had to blend everything. It's much better now. So let's go ahead and mount this thing on, and then I'm going to probably put a little silicone along the seams just to kind of like finish them off. These are the end pieces. Had to do kind of the same with this little piece of wood. Put a lot of backer in there, so then when I can put the screws in, they're pretty solid. So let's go ahead and see how this goes. All right, I went ahead and like put some screws in already, kind of halfway in. That way I can kind of line them up, find the holes. I'm also going to put just a little bit of silicone on here and here, some RTV, just to maybe make it adhere a little better. But I think it'll be fine without, because it was really strong prior. All right, these side ones are much harder to line back up afterwards. And yes, these are wood screws. That's all I could find. And I think that this will be enough, for anything. I could nut and bolt it, all the way through, but I'm gonna paint them black anyway, so you won't be able to see them. They ain't going anywhere. So these screws here kind of poke through. I may end up cutting them. This one's not bad, I don't think. But I'm gonna definitely cut these two for sure. That way when you're lifting it up, you don't pinch yourself, but let's see what happens here. So it's not perfect, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it's like 95%. These spoilers are really, really bad. I had to trim a lot. I had to build up some stuff to like manipulate it. These end pieces especially were like pretty crazy. This arc also was all out of whack. I had to shave it, to keep fitting it. But everything else seems to be pretty good, like the width here. This little gap, there's nothing you can do about that. It's bigger here and bigger here. It's kind of out of whack a little bit, but we're getting real nitpicky. I'm gonna go ahead and run some RWB, we'll call it, gap filler there. So just a bead of silicone here, all around here, and I think that'll finish it off nice, and that'll be it, man. All right, I got a decent sized gap with the tape. Seems all right. I think this will do it. It's kind of big. I'm not really digging it, but I think that's the best we can do. So there's just such a kind of a big gap in there. I don't know if you can see the side sort of higher than that. And I'm gonna come around to the other side here. This one is lower. So there's gotta be something done here. So I think this is maybe appropriate, I'm hoping. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do one side, like maybe one of these, and then take the tape off and check it out, see how it looks. And if it looks uniform and sort of even, then we'll leave it. If not, then at least it's only a little section I can take off while it's still wet or something. But I don't know, let's give it a shot. Made this little tool a long time ago when I was back in my machining days, working at the shop. Got a little slit in it. Kind of slide it in here, and then you can get every last drop. Now for the fun part. So I kind of take this credit card and see if we can kind of like do something here. Let's It's not too bad. This gap kind of sucks. Try something here. So it's not too bad. Looks okay, I guess. It's very difficult to do. I'm definitely gonna come back and retape. And then what I'm gonna end up doing is getting rid of that little ridge there, which will work. I don't think it'll be too bad to do. It's definitely tedious, but it looks kind of complete-ish, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and then see if I can get a little more solid than this one. But man, it is tedious. Well, now I know what nightmares are made out of. This was super hard, way more involved than I thought. This side here, I ended up doing twice, which was very scary, but it came out way better the second time. The trunk one I did one shot, it came out mint. I did the underside here, which is good. And then this side, like I mentioned before, I'm probably gonna just tape, when it's dry, tape it off and then do another little coat and that'll get rid of that little bump. I'm confident of that. And then I'll probably do this side as well, just to like smooth things out. But all in all, it came out pretty good. Wouldn't recommend doing this. It was a mess. And if you do, wear gloves because I did not, like a dumbass. But it's finished. And that is that. All right, guys, that buttons up the rear spoiler, mirrors, and the hood's on. So I want to go over a couple things with you guys, like I mentioned, that I didn't film. But anyway, let's start with the interior. Let me go over to the passenger side, and you can see what's up. So there's still a few things to do, but just some odds and ends. It's pretty much complete. I got some of my wiring for my ECU, but that's it. I'm missing a shift knob. So these are the door panels I got from James over at MRG Motoring. We became good friends, and he's a pretty good dude. He's out of Australia. The only thing with these is they were wood, and I just kind of blacked it out because I kind of dig that. But they are flawless, and they fit mint. So my rear seat covers came from him as well, and they're mint. They fit awesome. The guy I had cover them, he said it was a breeze to put these on, so he matched my fronts. I think I gave him like the dimensions for them, and then he said, no problem, I'll take care of it. And they are a pretty spot on. So I'm excited about that. The rear panels are from him also. Little insignia on there. They are awesome. So these also I blacked out, as you can tell. This little piece here was exposed. You know, they're the wheel well. They usually have like this vinyl-y cover there. So I just covered it. It looks nice. And that's the same materials I used on my headliner, which is kind of hard to see. It's really dark in here, but this is the aluminum panel that was there when I bought the car. So I just kind of covered it and made it nice. There's an A86 light I grabbed. I also covered those panels there for the rear. Redid the shocks. I need new shocks because these things are super weak. But anyway. So the A-pillars are kind of a bear in these cars. They are nothing. They're just metal. So I got a little funky with them. This is a piece of foam, like packing material that I found in my basement. This is a bad representation of it, but there it is. So this little piece of foam I covered in the suede with some like spray adhesive. And then I spray adhesived the foam to the piece of metal. It was hard, but it looks mint, and I'm happy with the results of them. The only thing I just need a little thing here to seal it off. So here's the gauges I went with. These are Speed Hut gauges. They're pretty straightforward to put in. The only thing that was difficult was mounting them to the kind of factory surround here, which I'll cut to a little video. I had to do quite a bit of machining to them, to the little faces in here, to fit them in. But if anyone needs a set or wants to send me their things here, whatever, I can cut them for them. I can machine them out for you, send them back if you'd like, or just give you the specs. They also make a 3D printed one, which Dave Pratt was kind enough to send me, but the Speed Hut gauges now are updated, and they don't use threads. They use a little tri-clamp, which you only know what I'm talking about if you are in there doing it. So anyway, regardless of that, easy install, power ground, and each one has a sending unit. Very simple to do, just like any other gauge. The speedometer was awesome because that was just GPS, and I just put my little GPS guy here, which I don't really like it here, but there was really nowhere to put it, so that was where I chose. Refinished all the bezels and everything, painted. And I also got this fancy ashtray, which I was excited about because I had a hard time finding one. eBay purchase right here, not cheap. Refinished everything, all the vents. As far as these gauges go, this is my voltmeter as well as my air fuel. I like running air fuel gauges because I know what's going on. Most of the cars don't need it. This car probably doesn't need it, but whatever. This little switch for my fan, manual fan, on off. I kind of like those also, but that's it. So here's this. I got a little armrest on here and everything. So that's pretty good. And I ended up going with the Energy Short Hub. People hate on these, but like, they're fine. I don't know. Everything else Energy might make sucks, but like, I've had no issues with these. I've run them on most of my cars. I like having a removable steering wheel. That way I can get on the dash if I need to. So speaking of under the dash, let's get under there and I'll show you the link ECU. All right, so again, nothing super finished right now, but it will be. There's my link. I got this thing from Matt Panic over at Panic Wiring. He's super helpful. It's a really easy install. I made a little bracket to hold that thing as well as trying to like tuck all these wires up. There's a lot of length on the wires, so I kind of tucked it up
as best I can in there and kind of route things around. This is my OBD. I will end up putting this somewhere as well, but that's it. These here are my relays. I didn't need all three. I think I'm only using actually one. It's for my fuel pump. So you need your reverse lights and fuel pump, and then I just threw a little spare in here. You know what I mean, for in case I need it. I don't know if I need something. This is going to be a horrible explanation of like how to wire this thing in, but it's really straightforward. There's like 3 signal wires, maybe 4 signal wires that you have to tap into. One's the tack, a couple others. Super easy stuff. It's really overwhelming looking at it, and really overwhelming reading it. But if you guys have any questions, just hit me up. I can answer as much as I can. But anyway, let's go up front in the engine bay, and I'll show you the other side of things.
All right, guys, here we are. This is gonna be kind of hard to see anything of the wiring. I have my wiring harness pretty tucked. So I went through and kind of like did my due diligence to get everything to be disappeared. So the wiring harness from Matt over Panic Wiring literally lays right over the engine, and everything will plug in super easy. The only couple things that I had questions about was there's extra connectors that I didn't know what they went. There's one on the back, maybe 2 in the back, and there's one up front here. Now these are CAN bus connectors, and they're used for certain applications. My application, I didn't need them. So I was searching for a spot and I couldn't find anything, but it doesn't matter. You can call Matt or email Matt. He's really good at support. So that's that. The other thing I want to mention is the speed hut gauges require their own sending units. So the reason why there's 2 water temperature sensors here is because this one's the speed hut one and this one is the factory one, this factory location. So when I'm tuning, or whoever's tuning it, when they open the laptop, they'll be able to read it without a gauge, which is good. The crappy thing is the location for the oil pressure sensor is the one I used for my speed hut gauges, and here's the one from Panic. So my tuner won't be able to see my oil pressure, but my gauge will be able to see it. So I'm kind of like trusting that. I'm sure there's another location I can find, or there's probably I can pull this out and put a T in it and then put the factory one in. Like there's some way to do it, but I'm gonna kind of run it like this. Let's go over to the other side. I'll show you what's going on. So on this side here, again, can't see anything, but I'll go down here. So that's where I grabbed power, and again, everything is really easy to hook up. The only thing I shortened was this cable here I shortened for the alternator is really long. That's really the only thing. There's a couple different ways to, hook the harness up, and Matt explains that in the directions also. All right, so here's my vacuum lines for my ITBs. I just want to kind of show you guys what's going on here. I was gonna get crazy with these and start making some like hard lines and do like, how they do the swirls and whatever. I thought it'd be cool, but it's a lot of work. I started to do it and I was like, why am I even doing this? So anyway, this is how I hooked it up. I made a little block, put it to my oil catch tank, and then here's your 4 ports. They're gonna go right up to here. And then I don't know if you can see it here, but I have another one in the center that is gonna give vacuum to my ECU. And then an extra guy, and then the one over here, if you can see it here, there's another fitting that goes right over to my brake booster. Anyway, let's go over to the back and I'll show you what I did in the trunk. I made a little trunk mat here out of like Luan and just a couple 2x4s, which was fun to make. I like kind of making those things. Cleans everything up nicely, So the back piece here, I wanted to show you. I wrapped it in the same material. This was a piece of aluminum like I had before. My door panels were aluminum, everything was aluminum. So I reused this piece, and then the piece here was aluminum also. I wrapped this the same material as I did these, as well as my headliner. But that's it. Cleans everything up nice. Batteries going there. Cables are coming out of there. Real sleek. Be nice. Also, I made these little detachable little doors here. All the ones over here. So what this is you can take this button out here, and then this whole door will come up and out, and that gives you access to the little light, the side marker in the back. So you're not like
stuck. You know what I mean? And then I made this in 2 pieces because it's gigantic and super hard to get out. So you'll just kind of like lift up here and then you can like get everything else out. That's it. So I'm gonna tuck some wires over here. I'll get those buttoned up. And also I'm in dire need of some shocks. Somebody help. I cannot find a part number and I don't know where to get these things. So shout out to me. Let me know what's going on if you have some or want to sell them.
All right, guys, so that's that. Button up the back end, happy with it. Stick around. The next video is going to be an interesting one, to say the least. But that's it. I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.